Yeah, Mr. Vamos here again. We're back at it. Christmas period. I don't know how it's taking you guys, but Christmas has been fresh. Well, today in today's episode, we are. I think just to give you guys a quick one on what we're going to look into, we're going to directly look into the English Premier League. Because if you guys are seeing, most of the leagues are on break, so we're going to look into the Premier League. We're going to look into Man United. We're going to look into how Man United is going to at least score a goal this game week. We're going to look into how the top of the table is going. How is Liverpool doing? How is Aston Villa doing? How is, of course, the elephant? How is it pushing inside there? So it's basically how are the teams on the top faring vis-a-vis how are the teams that are below them? How are they coming through? So without further ado, I think we have a few games today, and then tomorrow we also have some games plus the day after tomorrow. But when I check my thing, today we're starting with the Newcastle Nottingham. This is a very, I'd call it a rather interesting game because Newcastle recently is not really bringing in the points. And Nottingham, like I called last week, I think they have a new manager, and I don't know Espirito. His fortunes in the Premier League were only good with Wolves, but this time around, I think he's coming through to a Nottingham Forest side that has everybody. I think they bought around 20 players the last transfer window. So I'm thinking Nuno Espirito wants to make a point in the Premier League on his return. He's playing a Newcastle side that has been hampered with a lot of injuries, and then the points are not coming through for them. So where do you see Newcastle is actually at home? So what do I think about this game? I'm thinking Newcastle wants to make points again, and then Nottingham Forest also wants to make points again. Just like I called, Anthony Elanga is actually on fire recently. Chris Wood again is also on fire. He's back into the team. So I think that's going to give a problem to the Newcastle defense. Ever since the Newcastle defense lost a Botman inside there and the Danban, it's been crazy for them. But Danban and Botman are back. Plus Dubravka is in their goal now. So it's been crazy for them to keep clean sheets in there. But I think this is going to be a game where both of the sides are going to score. So I might not really call it for you, but I think this game will have in some good goals for us. So let's keep your eyes on that one. Well, just like I said, let me first dive to the big games, and then we'll come back to these others. Man United is playing Aston Villa. If you're to check the statistics, Man United has not lost on Boxing Day since 1978. That's an interesting stat, but they come against an Aston Villa side that is actually 1 point off the top. So what does that mean for Man United? Well, Aston Villa under Unai Emery has been rejuvenated this season, and then Man United hasn't scored in its past 4 appearances. Where does the drama come in from? I probably think Man United. I think first of all, Man United has issues of. I think the coach is not making the right decisions. The coach is not making decisions of still, and then also the players don't. The players are not giving in their all. I think so. I'm thinking, how does a Man United team beat an Aston Villa team? Because Aston Villa under Emery likes to. How do I call it? It's a very conservative team. They probably still play the traditional offside trap thing. I think Man United can catch them on the break. But I'm thinking everyone have been reading a lot of tabloids here and there, and they're thinking McTominay should probably sit out and let's see how to get midfielders that play the ball and protect Bruno Fernandes as Man United looks to go in front. But I also think Rashford should low-key come back into that team, and I think Garnacho needs to sit down a bit because he's missed a few sitters that would have brought Man United into the game. For example, in the last game against West Ham. And then I'm thinking I think maybe Rashford needs an opportunity to step up again because stuff has not been coming through for him. And he's the only one who has assisted Højlund in, I think Højlund's main goals have come through from Rashford. So I'm thinking this is just what I think. If you want a Man United team to perform, I'll continue to back a midfield partnership of maybe Amrabat Mino, and then a Fernandes, because I'm thinking you'll have security in the middle. And then Eriksen is back. I think he'll get some minutes in the second half there just to ping a few passes here and there. Aston Villa, I don't know. It's been cream all through. It's because last week they managed to score a 90th minute goal, which is not something that we expected. Very many of you expected them to win. And just like I said, I just want to mention for you guys, Leon Bailey, I think he has put his injury woes behind him and he's actually playing good football inside there. So if I was to look into Man United playing Aston Villa, I'm actually going to shock you guys a bit. I want to give Man United a narrow win inside here just because I think Man United need this game properly, and for us to get back home against an Aston Villa side that is playing at its peak, I think the coach will probably try to put the confidence in the boys and they'll pick this one up. So I'm giving you guys a Man United 1-0, just a narrow win inside there. Just to get you the guys on top, Burnley is playing Liverpool. Burnley off a shock win against Fulham. None of us saw that coming because Fulham has been on form recently. And then they play a Liverpool side that is off a draw against Arsenal at Anfield. Well, it was actually a very nice game to watch for all the football lovers outside there. I think you saw it was an end-to-end game. It's Liverpool pushing on this side, Arsenal pushing on this side. And I think Mo Salah on one of his tweets said that, well, I think they shouldn't lag back behind because of the draw that they got. A lot is expected of them. So I'm thinking Burnley, I would not probably write them in this game. I'm thinking Liverpool is going to come through and look for points. I think it all comes down to if Jurgen Klopp is going to maybe bring back a Gakpo to lead the line, because I don't think he really put a lot of impact inside that front pack. I think Nunez should come back into that Liverpool side back in the front, and then they probably see, of course, Diaz is really electric on the side. And then I'm thinking players like Enzo actually had a good display against Arsenal. So I'm thinking that midfield partnership of Enzo and maybe Soboslai will probably help you guys inside there. So if it were up to me, I'm thinking Liverpool will take this one away without a doubt. Just to get you into some of the games tomorrow, Man City is taking on Everton. This Everton side is a very revamped side under the main man, Sean Dyche. Well, they lost against Spurs the other day, but they put up a spirited fight. They faced a Man City side that has actually had a very serious dip in form. They've not been winning games recently. I think they lost. They drew their last game on. They drew their last game against. It's really skipping me, but they really failed to pick up a result the last time out. Well, I don't want to say they're being affected by Haaland being out, but I think I like to use the thing of Mwenda is Mwenda, because a striker is one person who knows how to look for the goals. And I think they'll be boosted by the return of Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think he has much fitness yet. Yes, but I think De Bruyne coming back into that Man City team will help to unlock maybe an Alvarez who is sitting in for an Erling Haaland. But I think Erling Haaland will be back maybe by New Year's Eve. So they take on an Everton side. Everton actually they know how to play dirty. They know how to play the bus. They know how to play long balls. They know how to do everything. They know how to look for their players. I'm thinking this game will all come down to the creativity of Dwight McNeil, and then it will also come down to how good does maybe a Bernardo Silva open the Man City team and open the team to see how they ping the passes to the main man Alvarez, because I think that will be the main man today. So if it were up to me, I'm thinking Man City needs this victory to actually get back to chasing the title and all that. So I'm going to give you guys a Man City 2-1 win inside here. We have a Chelsea taking on a Crystal Palace. I will repeat for the third episode running that Chelsea wins when they want to win. They play a Crystal Palace side that Crystal Palace is actually looked like as an underdog, but when you look at Roy Hodgson actually knows what it means to pick points in the Premier League. So if you see Roy Hodgson went to Man City, he picked a 2-2 draw inside there. And they have a Michael Olise that's hot on form. They play a Chelsea side. I don't know if they don't really have confidence. I think most of you guys saw Raheem Sterling failing to square the ball to two of his players inside there. And now by the time a team reaches a situation and I think they have players that are going for individual glory, that's very bad for business. So Chelsea Crystal Palace, this is a very tricky game for you guys, because I'm thinking Crystal Palace might really upset them today. Because Crystal Palace, those are the guys that will really cause you an upset. They have a Mateta inside there that's really looking to score a goal, and a Jordan Ayew that might really cause problems to a Chelsea defense that is not coordinated. So I'll give you guys a Crystal Palace win inside there. On Thursday, we have Brighton taking on Tottenham. These are two teams in the Premier League that actually play entertaining football. And then I think Andre has actually begun picking in the points. Richarlison Andrade is actually hot on form. He's actually scoring goals. I think he scored in back-to-back games, which is good for his confidence. And then Son is also back on the score sheet. Brighton, on the other hand, well, I think I'm about to render them among the guys that win when they won, because you'd expect Brighton to be winning games in and out, but that's not what they do. So I'm thinking because Spurs is back picking in the points, this is going to be an interesting game for them. So I'd like to give this win to Spurs, because I think recently they know what it means to take on games. So that's a 2-1 Spurs. And then the mainest game that we'll have again, which will be on Thursday, will be an Arsenal West Ham. Arsenal West Ham has always been a good game to watch. because now these are two teams. Arsenal, I think, has one of the most beautiful pieces of football in the Premier League, without a doubt. They have the best pressing. They have the best build-up. I think they generally have everything. Arteta has built a squad inside there. They play a West Ham side. I think this West Ham side is now revolving on a Paqueta and a Kudus inside there, because if you're to check, I think Paqueta has now assisted Kudus in two back-to-back games. So that's 4 assists for Paqueta inside there, and then those are 3 goals for Kudus. So what does this game mean for either of the teams? Of course, Arsenal wants to cement the top spot coming into the new year, and then West Ham, of course, this is a London derby. They want to put in a stake inside there. They want to almost get the bragging rights in London. So if it were up to me, I'm thinking this game is going to come down to who wants it more, because just like I said, the brilliant football that Arsenal plays, if they can continue to press the West Ham guys and they probably get sloppy, then you'd expect the West Ham side to probably leak in and bring in a few goals inside there. But then I think Arsenal defensively from the left side, the Zinchenko side is really like a leaking roof. I'm thinking if Kudus comes through from that side, it's going to be bad news for that Arsenal side. And then I don't really trust how Raya plays with the ball, because I would not say it's really sloppy, but I don't really like how he does that. It really puts his guys on pressure. So if it were up to me, I'm thinking both of these teams are going to score inside here. About the one who will win it, I can just tell you that both of these teams are going to score in that game. Well, just to wrap this one up, I'll just jump into some of these other minimal games for you. Bournemouth is taking on Fulham. Bournemouth is red hot. Dominic Solanke off the back of a hat-trick. Actually, he's actually one of the strikers in the league that has scored double figures, which is impressive for a side like Bournemouth. He has 11 goals in 17. So they take on a Fulham side that is not picking in points recently. So I'll give you guys a Bournemouth win inside here. Sheffield Luton, 2 underdogs, 2 guys that I really think are going to be relegated. And I don't see how any of these guys is going to survive that drop. But in regards to predictions, Sheffield is playing at home, and I'll give them a win today. We have a Brentford and Wolves. Those are 2 teams that are not really scoring goals recently, because you have a Brentford that lost in Buemo, and the spark hasn't really been there. And then Wolves is actually hustling for points. So in regards to prediction, I'll give the Wolves a narrow 1-0 win inside there. I just want you guys, in all, I just think that this is going to be an interesting game week, because whatever happens in the big shots up there, we'll probably see a change in who is on top, and then who is going second and who is going third. So aside from that, well, like I said, the last episode we had was the last one on Kampala soil. I think you can see the atmosphere has changed and all that. But then kudos to everyone that's subscribing, kudos to everyone that's liking, and everyone that's giving in the comments. And I just continue to appreciate your feedback. And well, I think we'll go again anytime soon. Vamos, we go again.